Hi, my name's Matt. I'm the COO and co-founder of Task. We're a software company and we have a mobile-first team engagement platform where we help organizations to engage their employees in activities that have social or environmental impact. It helps to boost team morale and productivity, as well as providing the data that you need for management reporting and also marketing, showing what the brand is up to. Today I'm going to do a demo of our platform. Just before I jump in, I'm just going to show you what the platform looks like. So we are mobile first. Everything happens pretty much at the mobile level. But before you get Teams onto that mobile device, you create your projects at the desktop, which I will show you. We provide connection between projects with workflow automation. We've got team rewards. We can easily integrate into other platforms. So if, where tasks are normally completed on the mobile app, you can also integrate maybe into Slack if you want them done on the desktop. And as people complete those activities that have the impact that's required, you can then socially share those, which I will show you. And all this data that's collected is then put into Google Sheets, other management platforms, so you can use it to uh, post on dashboards and show the performance against things like the UN Sustainable Development Goals, which we're going to show today. So now I'm going to jump into the platform. I'll first show the mobile app before I jump over to the desktop version to show where projects are created. Okay, so let's start in the Task app, and I'm going to click it on my phone here. Uh, as you see, it's defaulted to projects. So you can see there's a menu at the bottom: timeline, discover, projects, notifications, and wallet. Here you can see my projects. So I have different projects that I'm either a team member of or I'm following. And we'll jump into a project in a minute. Before we do that, let's just run across the bottom bar. So we have a timeline. This timeline relates to any activity from a project that I'm either following or I'm a team member of. So you can see these activities here, other people have completed. I can I can share within my own social networks if I'd like to, and I can comment. Those features can also be locked down, so it doesn't have to be public in that way. We have a discover area. This discover area is where we post our blogs, our podcasts, also projects that we feature, ones that you can join. Now, this discover area, anyone who is using our product, any business, any nonprofit, will get this discover area within their app. But you can also white label this and control it yourself. So push out all your own marketing content to your own teams. Notifications, pretty straightforward. A task has been completed, it's been verified. You've been asked to join a project, different kind of notifications. And finally, with the wallet, I've got a few different point systems in here. Normally, as a business, you'd only have one, but as I'm demoing, we have different point systems we set up for different projects. So you can set up point systems, and then you can provide rewards for those points. As an example, our tribe tokens, which is what we have within Task as a business. We have everything from your fortune cookie, a kind of fun one token reward, up to Patagonia vouchers for 2,000 tokens. So yeah, different rewards for different activities, really just to encourage the right behavior within the projects that you're putting out there. So we've got a number of different projects, but today I want to cover the Sustainable Development Goals Daily Actions project. This is a project that we've developed. It's also available as a template. So if you want, you can go and copy this into your own Task account and then decide if you use any of these tasks or pick some of the goals, none of them, change them. It's there to be played with. And we really want other people to come in and provide their own input into this project. So before I go into a task, let me just first go into the overview of the project. So if you're invited in, if you set up a project and invite in your team, if they're not currently on the app, they will get a link to download from the App Store or Google Play, and then they'll find themselves here. Here's a bit of information about the project. There's a video. You can personalize this video with a message to your team. And then I continue and go through to my tasks. So let's just this is the SDG, so Sustainable Development Goals. So every single one is in here, and we have different tasks against them. If I just find one, so affordable clean energy, we're going to do implement energy efficient designs in your home. So here you've got the task, you've got a bit of information about the task, and it's asking me to do something. So it's asking me to complete this task. How did you increase energy efficiency in your home? Well, I installed solar. What organization? It was Chiang Mai Solar. And what was the benefit? Well, for me, it was really about long-term care, looking after the environment, um, and being more energy efficient. It's asking me for some photos, so I'll just go through and I'll add a picture of my solar. Now, this is a particular structured task, but you can set them up in any way you want. You can ask for, different pieces of information, and this data is then pushed off for pushed off into the project, which we'll see, and it can also be sent off to a Google Sheet and used for reporting later. It's also told me that I will receive a a tribe token once it's gone for verification. Now, we have verification on projects. You can enable or disable verification. In this case, it's enabled. We want to check how tasks are done. And I'm also not just the tasker, but the verifier on this project. Typically, you would have people doing tasks, and then you might have someone else that's the verifier. But in this case, I'm both, and I can then demonstrate it. So if I just click in, you can then see, well, what's been completed here? What is the task? Well, you can see everything I just put in. You can see the image. You can also see the geolocation of where my task has been done. If I want, I can reject that. If it was not correct, I can reject with a message and just let someone know. Or I can accept, which is what I'm going to do in this case. And that's all done. So if we just go back now to our project, that's a completed task. And if we go to the timeline, there you go, it's already there. A few seconds ago, you can see my task has been added. And we'll just like that task. And again, I can comment or share as I like. There's also my team on here. So if you were running an organizational version of this, you would have your teams from inside the organization in here. This is our team. There's some people we know. There's some other general public, different people within this team. There's some very basic impact information here. It's really, there's a leaderboard. It's more informational impact, so impact over time, how many tasks were done on what days, but also impact by location. So you can start to see, well, where are the people that are completing these tasks? And that's pretty much it. I'm now going to hop over and show you on the desktop how the project's created so that you can then create your own projects, inviting your own teams. Okay, great. So now we're on the desktop. We're looking at the project page. So this is the same image. When I was in the app, you saw I went to the default project page that you would see when you first went in. This is the desktop version, and this is where I administer the project. This page also, though, can be public. You can decide to have a view-only version of this that's on a TV screen. So, or it can be public on laptops, so other people can see it and understand and see how people have been engaging in the activities. If we scroll down, you'll see what I mean. So you can see, here are the tasks that have been completed. You can see my activity I just did on the phone. This can be shared. You can embed this within your website, and you can see here the impact data by location, so where tasks are being completed. We also have our team here. Again, you saw those on the phone, and then there's the leaderboard. If I manage team, I won't go through that here, but if I manage team, you can change people to verifiers, to taskers, so different role permissions within the project. What I want to show you though is just really the task widget, how you create these tasks. And this piece here is always private to the administrator of the project. So if I just click on just the top one, and you can then see, so this is, let's just go to the first task, and you see across to the right here, this is where I create my task. So this is what you will see on the smartphone when you open up the task. You can put a nice image. We always encourage people to do that. It's just more engaging for the individual who's doing the task. There's a description here. This is very short. It can be as long as you want. Really just depends what you're trying to communicate via the task UI. And then really here is the kind of meat of the system, of the tasking system, of how you're engaging teams and how you're gathering relevant data for your reporting or marketing purposes. First of all, we have the settings. So as you saw, verification was off, but you can turn that, sorry, it was on, but you can turn that off if you like, and then every task just goes straight through to the timeline. There are points. As we saw, you can specify how many points for tasks depending on how difficult that task is. There's also processing rules. So some tasks you can have that are just done once and that's it. They drop off the queue. Other tasks you can keep completing. And then there's also the ability to create categories. So here we've got categories. You can see the no poverty as a category. That's because we have a number of tasks that sit within that category. The location. So we geolocate every time a task is done, but you can also specify location for a task to be done. Where that might be important is if you are making some sort of delivery. We work with food banks. Food banks take requests for food deliveries, and in that case, they want to plot that delivery on a map for someone to complete the task. The data to collect, and this is really the kind of form data, the survey form data that goes within the task. You can see in this one we've got text areas and images. If I just click down, you can see the choices you have: text area, images and photos. You got drop down lists where people can select one thing, or a tag box where they can select multi. And we've got video coming in a couple of weeks into the platform. Social sharing. So as you saw, I can choose to socially share my tasks on my own network, but you can also configure this to share to your own network. So you might be running a employee engagement program where you're tracking environmental activities and progress, and as employees do things that reduces their carbon footprint, then you want to share that content automatically to your company page, your Facebook page, wherever it might go. So you can configure that stuff as you need it. And finally, workflows. So I'm not going to go through both parts of this, but there's a piece here where you can create workflows that connect projects. That really gets into, I'm doing a task because I want to create another task for someone else. I won't go through that now. What's more important, I think, is really this Google Sheet integration. So all of the data that comes out of the platform can be captured automatically, and our Google Sheet integration is a one-click setup. So you can see that's clicked. It just means the data is populated inside a Google Sheet. And that is the task widget, really. That's where you create tasks. They can be as simple or as complex as you like, and then you can start to invite your team in via the mobile device so they can complete the activities. I'm now going to jump just to one more step and show you, when you've captured that data, what can you do with it? How can it be viewed by the business? Okay, great. So finally, dashboarding. We do not mandate that you need to use our dashboards. You can take the data from your task projects and have it pushed into your own BI tool, into your own dashboards, into your own reporting products. But we do have dashboarding capability. We can set these up for you. And it's important to understand also, the use of this data. So you can see here, this is a dashboard where this was actually around health and well-being. And you can see we are tracking different data points against a couple of SDGs here, number 3 and number 8. So typically when we're looking at a dashboard solution, we will start from this point and work backwards. So, you will decide what are your KPIs in terms of your organization tracking data against the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And then you will create the right project and the right activities for employees to engage in. So you then have a dashboard that you can present to management or to customers to show how you're tracking against the SDGs. The other thing is we are one data point, so we're about connecting with remote teams and gathering data. You can also push other data into this dashboard, though. You might be looking at, say, Scope 3 emissions and the way that employees get to work. You might want to add, Scope 1 or 2, other emission sources, other data around environmental impact, and put that into the same dashboard. So we have the flexibility to design the tool in that way. Great, thanks a lot. That's pretty much it. So hopefully that gives you an overview of the platform, how you can create projects, invite in teams, reward their behavior, and then track those activities and report on your social and environmental indicators. If you've got any questions or you'd like a live demo to look into more detail into any parts of the platform, then please email us at hello@task.io. Thanks a lot.